Boop. I'm gonna go red, pink. No, it doesn't have pink. Let's go purple, maybe. Nice. No, I'm not actually using the headphones. It's just to kind of symbolize the.
Alright, you can take this one. That sounds good. Everyone can hear me. Alright, should we head out? Okay.
Back to another episode of ABLAZE podcast, and today's episode is a super cool one. If you do followed the podcast for a little while, especially season 3, you probably would have seen Operation Takeover. Here's one of the yeah. Here's one of the other posters from when they went to the Capitol, but the one I went to was the one in Sydney and Marrickville. Now, Operation Takeover was essentially Brezie, my friend who's a producer in DY of Flow State Studio, and I, Katana, the owner of Hush Club, and also a singer herself, incredible duo, came together and launched an EP. And essentially to celebrate and launch that EP, like debut the EP, they basically did an event called Operation Takeover, which was kind of like alien UFO themed and kind of like taking over the world kind of theme. And so basically, that was the first time I met Aikatana. I kind of was like introduced through Breezy online, and it kind of started like trying to like talk to her a little bit there because I was trying to get more female artists on the channel. So I was really interested in that, and she turned out to be this absolute awesome girl, really, really amazing and really great artist. And then basically the day of the event they had a Hush Club silent disco that's led the beginning of the event, which was a huge route of dancing on the street, and all the music that they use is generally just Australian local artists of different types depending on like the theme or like the route or the style that they're doing. They do a lot of themed events, so it's really, really cool. Definitely check it out. It's going to be linked in the description below. And then basically it was followed by going to Kiss My Brass. Went to that location, finished up the silent disco part of it, and then we had all these different artists that have worked with Breezy's studio perform for us a bunch of songs. Really, really cool night. And then there was a few other things like raffles. Kira, Breezy's partner, also like led the beginning of like the events with like this I guess like saging and also like mindfulness practice. Very, very cool. Um, and then the whole thing was kind of wrapped up with Breezy and Aikatana doing their EP songs, and it was really cool. One of my favorite songs from that whole series is the World's So Fucked Right Now. Definitely check it out. It's really, really cool. And if you don't know about the MP3 movement, I do talk about it on that particular episode. So go and have a look at that one. I won't go into it now, but you can also check out Breezy's Instagram at Breezy. Um, I'll link him down below anyway, but you can also click the link for the MP3 campaign and you'll definitely understand what I'm talking about. It's very, very cool. Trust me, you will not regret it. But anyway, so today we're going to be talking about the silent disco again and a little bit more detail. So there was meant to be a little event. Well, I say little, but it's actually meant to be pretty big. A big event called Dirt Fest, run by Katana and another gentleman. It was like a collab, and unfortunately, they got rained on. And I got a message just a few days back while I was still trying to organize an interview with Katana. Yes, that's coming up. It's going to be very exciting. And she was like, "Hey, I want to offer you a VIP ticket to the Hush Club new silent disco event." And I was like, "Oh, really? Thank you so much." And I was like, "Of course, I'll show up." And she even let me bring a friend along. So I brought my friend Gino around, and it was his first time too. So it was really cool. Operation Takeover was my first silent disco. So it was an experience I really wanted to do because I wanted to cover that. That was part of the reason why I really was really eager to go, apart from just like seeing all the artists. Really want to check that off my bucket list. So basically on the day of the event, it was like 6 p.m. We met at Chippo Hotel near Chippendale, in Chippendale. And then it was a very small group because it was only Wednesday. That was yesterday. And I think we had about probably like less than 10, probably about less than 10 people, to be honest. And yeah, it was really, really cool. They usually often kind of themed like some kind of way. So like for Operation Takeover, Aikatana would kind of, so you put on the headphones, they teach you how to like switch it on, change channels or such, and like change your volume. And you can have glow sticks up like to play with. And then you once you're all like ready to go, they'll let you know when they're about to head off. Then we follow her, head out from the venue usually. The pubs usually just like usually if you want to drink or something, loosen up a little bit beforehand, and then like just acts as a starting point for everyone to gather, like a landmark. Then we headed out, and then she'll usually start playing, and then you listen. And basically, the idea is not to kind of like be loud and talk a lot or anything like that. You just kind of keep it to just the music and just enjoy dancing and interacting with each other and making new friends that way. And so she usually has some kind of theme, but Operation Takeover, it was very much like, oh no, look at that, there's like aliens, they are like amongst us kind of thing. Like so it's really immersive experience. With this one, it was quite interesting. It was very, very misleading at the beginning, and she basically said like she had a map, and she was like, oh no, it looks like we forgot the map, we're just gonna have to try and figure it out to like get to the destination. So that was a pretty cool one, because I feel like that one's very, very easy to kind of believe in. um but anyway, yeah. So, and it was a really, really big mix of styles of music for this one for Dirt Fest. It's a shorter version, but it was more intense because of that, in the sense that there was like really hard rock and metal, there was like pop, there was like more trancey music, more like R&B. There was a huge mix of everything, and it was really fun. It was great. And my friend Gino, who has never been and wasn't sure whether he was able to do this like on the street kind of thing, dancing in front of all these people, ended up saying like he thought it was like super comfortable for him, and he ended up having a great time. Shout out to Gino, whose birthday's today, by the way. Anyway, so it was really, really cool. And we basically did that. Um, Went through a few different locations. Generally, it would be kind of like almost like a guided tour of like a certain area of like suburb of like Sydney. So you would walk through places like skate parks, playgrounds, parks, bushier areas sometimes. And then you probably cross into some city areas or certain like foodie areas. But then that's the part where you kind of rest and be quiet and kind of form a line and kind of be more aware of people, like the general public. But being Australia, people are super friendly and super fun and super into like kind of interacting with these kind of things. So you often end up with like people at the pubs or something. If you walk past them, they'll kind of start boogieing with you a little bit, even though they're not even listening to any music, which is super, super fun. And one of my favorite moments, which is why I encourage you to kind of join this kind of stuff, especially if you love dancing alone like me, or dancing like when you're listening to music on the street somewhat to a degree where it's kind of acceptable, but knows like you're having a great day. It's such a great event for you to kind of go and open up yourself and kind of really explore that childhood wonder and bring out that. You'll find it really, really helps you feel better about life and just be more enjoyable and happy about yourself. Trust me on that one. Um, and you know, and it makes you meet all these incredibly amazing people with this wonderful sort of like aura and energy, I guess. Not to be like too spiritual or anything, but you know what I mean, like good vibes and good mood. Anyway, so basically that was the event. We went through all these kind of places, and we even had the moment to appreciate the full moon yesterday. And then we ended up at I think Lord Robertson's or something, another pub closer to Redfern area, and they had sort of a event with like Latin DJs and Latin arts on display in a little gallery. It was like a 3 level pub, but it was very, very crowded. So in the end, we ended up just having a quick look and then kind of left. Very different to what I imagined. I was talking to TGAR beforehand, and if you don't know, TGAR is my good friend and an artist local to Australia, insanely good rapper and very, very cool, very hardworking, and very should be more successful than he is, considering how young he is and how hard he works. Um, and has a debut album called Past, Future, Present. If you want to go check it out, past, present, future, and is working on a second album. So, Katana will probably potentially be having some part in it, as from what I hear, rumor has it. So it'll be very, very cool to see. Anyhow, um, But yeah, so I have become somewhat of a good friend with Akatana, and she's incredible. And yeah, I'm really excited to kind of hear about how she created Hush Club. And I highly encourage you to go and try it out yourself. You can see from the footages that everyone's having a great time. There was a lot of different activities and ways that she kind of creates it to kind of help people relax and really loosen up. And I think her being someone who just so can fully embrace herself and fully be in this situation is what really helps put you in the right mood and in the right sort of like a relaxation, I guess, to have fun, to loosen up and have fun essentially. Because even me, I still get like a bit nervous. I try to kind of tell people that it's going to be super, super okay. But once it starts, or like when I'm around like a really public area, I do still get a little tense. And she is the one that usually can help bring everyone back. And of course, the other amazing people that night that I met, you guys were super awesome and super fun, and it was just really, really amazing. So I really look forward to going back to another one and supporting her. But I love for you guys to go and let me know down in the comments below if you did and what you thought about it. It was actually really funny that night. I shouldn't say funny if the person ends up watching it, but there was a gentleman who ended up at the last stop, and he basically apparently was because we started a little bit late because we were trying to wait on a few people that didn't seem to have shown up, and basically after we left, apparently he did, and he was the only one that did out of the people. I don't know how many people didn't show up, but he did, and we were gone. So he was like, in the end, just kind of was like waiting there. And he saw us and he was like, hey, so is it over? And we were like, yeah, the dancing portion is pretty much done. So yeah. But anyway, sorry about like the short episodes in a row, but these are like sort of like almost like a repeat experience, but like enhanced and in a bit more detail. And I love to cover this because I feel like it's a great way to open up for the upcoming Aikatana interview. And it's going to be really, really cool to kind of deep dive into her music, her style, and her story of like creating such a cool company. And as you know, I have a high appreciation for girls and like women and for like the way they work and have to like thrive under these kind of double standard occasions. I mean, society, these standards, it can be very challenging for women, especially running a company by themselves. And so I would love to find out more about like how she's faced these challenges, how she came up with the idea, how she fleshed it out so well and really made it her own. Um, but yeah, I guess I won't ramble on anymore. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode. And I hope you keep up the sunshine and have a lovely day and dance your heart out today. And yeah, let me know who your favorite artist is right now that you're listening to. Comment down below. Talk to you soon. Bye.